Welcome to our podcast. Hey,
We're so glad you're here. Join us on this journey. Let's learn together.
Hey, welcome back to the podcast. I'm Leah, and oh my gosh, I am so glad you're here today because honestly, this episode, it's what I wish someone had made for me like 5 years ago.
Same, Leah. I'm Sam, and listen, if you've ever sat down to start something, a new project, a new habit, learning something new, and then just froze, you are in exactly the right place today.
Yes, froze. That's the perfect word. You know that feeling? You want to start, but something inside you just stops you. Today, we're talking about why that happens, and more importantly, how to just get going anyway.
And hey, quick question for you, our listener. Think about something you've been putting off. Maybe learning English more seriously, maybe starting a business idea, maybe just sending that email you've been avoiding. Got it in your head? Good. Keep that thing in mind all episode.
Oh, I love that exercise. And Sam, let me ask you something right now. Give us an example. What's something you put off for way too long?
Oh, wow. Okay. Honestly, this podcast. I kept saying I'll start when my English is better. I'll start when I have better equipment. I'll start when... And you know what? The when never came until one day I just hit record. And here we are.
And I am so glad you did because look at us now, day 4. Okay, so today's episode title is You Don't Need to Be Perfect, Just Start. And we mean every single word of that.
Okay, so let's actually dig into this. Why do people procrastinate? Now, that's our first big vocabulary word today. Say it with me. Procrastinate. Procrastinate. It means to delay or keep pushing something to later, even when you know you should do it now.
Right, and procrastination has so many faces. Sometimes it looks like scrolling your phone for an hour. Sometimes it looks like doing other productive things so you feel busy but never touch the real task. Sound familiar?
So familiar. I once cleaned my entire apartment instead of working on an important presentation. Like sparkling clean every corner, because somehow that felt easier than sitting down and starting.
Ha! Classic avoidance behavior. That's a phrase, avoidance behavior. It means doing other things to avoid the thing that scares you. And Sam, why does starting feel scary? What's really going on?
Great question. I think there are a few big reasons. First, fear of failure. People think, what if I try and it doesn't work? And that's terrifying. So instead of risking failure, they just don't try at all. At least that way you can't fail, right?
But here's the thing. Not starting is a kind of failure, the saddest kind, because you never even gave yourself the chance.
Exactly. Second reason, self-doubt. Am I good enough? Do I know enough? What will people think? That voice in your head that says you're not ready yet. And the cruel thing about self-doubt is it can always find a reason why you're not ready.
Because self-doubt moves the finish line. You get better and it says, yeah, but you're still not good enough. You practice more, it says, others are still better. It's a trap with no exit unless you decide to just ignore it and start anyway.
Third reason, feeling overwhelmed. When we think about the whole thing, like I need to learn all of English, I need to be fluent, I need to speak like a native, that feels impossible. So the brain goes, nope, too big, shutting down.
And that feeling of being overwhelmed, it's so real. But here's the secret. You don't need to see the whole staircase. You just need to see the next step. That's it. One step.
Oh, I love that image. You don't need to see the whole staircase, just the next step. Leah, can I say for our listeners who are learning English, this applies so directly. Don't try to be perfect at English. Just try to be a little better today than yesterday.
Yes, and look, you're already doing it. By listening to this podcast, you are taking that step. You started. Give yourself credit for that.
Now, a really useful phrase in English, take the plunge. It means to start something big even though it feels scary, like jumping into cold water. You just
go. She finally took the plunge and opened her own business. He took the plunge and moved to a new city.
Can you use that in a sentence in your life? Maybe say, I'm going to take the plunge and practice speaking English every day. Say it out loud right now. Seriously, pause us and say it. We'll wait.
And you know what's also holding people back? Comparing themselves to others. You see someone who speaks English fluently and think, I'll never be that good. But you don't see their 5 years of hard work and thousands of mistakes. You only see the result.
Comparison is the thief of joy. One of my favorite sayings. Stop comparing your beginning to someone else's middle. Everyone starts at zero. Every expert was once a beginner. That's a fact. Okay, Sam, let's talk about what I think is the biggest enemy of starting. And it hides in a really tricky disguise because it looks like a good thing. I'm talking about perfectionism.
Oh, yes, perfectionism. And our word of this section, perfectionism. It means wanting everything to be 100% perfect before you show it to the world. And on the surface, that sounds great. You want high quality. You care.
But the ugly truth about perfectionism is that it's actually just fear wearing a fancy coat. Fear of judgment, fear of criticism, fear of not being good enough. And because nothing is ever perfect, the perfectionist never starts or never finishes.
Right. You know the phrase, done is better than perfect. That's something they actually say at places like Facebook, Instagram, big companies, because a good product that exists beats a perfect product that's stuck in your head.
Done is better than perfect. Write that down. Actually, we have a new word, imperfect. It just means not perfect. And imperfect things are everywhere, and people love them. Why? Because they feel real. They feel human.
Think about this. Have you ever watched a video where someone's English isn't perfect, but they're just so enthusiastic, so real, so genuine, and you loved it, versus a super polished, scripted video that felt kind of cold?
Yes, all the time. Authenticity, being real, beats perfection every time. And actually, this is scientifically interesting. There's something called the pratfall effect in psychology. Studies show that when someone who seems competent makes a small mistake, people actually like them more. A small imperfection makes you more relatable.
Yes, all the time. Authenticity, being real, beats perfection every time. And actually, this is scientifically interesting. There's something called the pratfall effect in psychology. Studies show that when someone who seems competent makes a small mistake, people actually like them more. A small imperfection makes you more relatable.
Basically, people trust those who seem human, not robot perfect. When you speak English and make a grammar mistake, that's not a weakness. It's a signal that you're brave enough to try, and listeners respect that.
Okay, so here's a question for our listeners, and really think about this. What would you do right now if you weren't afraid of being imperfect? Would you speak more, write more, start that project, sign up for that class?
That question is powerful because it reveals what perfectionism is actually costing you. The cost of waiting for perfect is a life of watching from the sidelines.
Now, let's talk about a concept called good enough. Not lazy, not sloppy, just good enough to start, good enough to share, good enough to get feedback and improve. This is how most great things in the world were built, incrementally, step by step, version by version.
Incrementally, breaking it down in small steps. The iPhone you have today, not how it started. YouTube, completely different from when it launched. Wikipedia, full of mistakes when it began. But they started, they shipped, they improved.
There's a phrase in the startup world, minimum viable product, or MVP. It means launch the smallest, most basic version that actually works. Get it out there, learn, improve. You can apply this to anything, even your English speaking skills.
I love that. Your minimum viable English is whatever you can say today. 3 sentences? Perfect. 1 question? Beautiful. A text message in English? That counts. Don't wait until you can write a Shakespeare play.
Yes. And here's something I think people don't realize. The perfectionists actually make less progress than the people who just try imperfectly and keep going, because practice beats planning every time.
Practice beats planning. Another one to write down. You could spend a year planning how to learn English perfectly, or you could spend that year just practicing, failing, improving, practicing again. After a year, who do you think speaks better?
Okay, story time. Because I think real stories hit different than theories. Leah, do you have a story about someone who just started imperfectly and it changed things?
Oh my gosh, yes. So I have a friend. Let's call her Maya. Maya always wanted to learn English. She'd buy books, download apps, watch tutorials, but never actually speak. Too scared. For 3 years, she studied but barely spoke.
Oh no, 3 years? That hurts to hear.
Right? Then one day, at a coffee shop, a tourist asked her for directions, and Maya, heart pounding, hands shaking, just answered. Imperfectly, wrong grammar, funny accent, but she answered, and the tourist smiled and said, "Thank you so much."
And?
Maya said it was like a dam breaking. Suddenly, she realized, I can do this. The world didn't end. People understood her. She started speaking every chance she could after that. Within 6 months, completely different level, all from one imperfect conversation.
Like a dam breaking. Beautiful expression. When a dam breaks, all the water that was held back suddenly rushes through. So, like a dam breaking means something that was blocked for a long time suddenly flows freely. We can use that metaphorically for emotions, for creativity, for skills.
And Maya's story brings us to our next keyword, momentum. Mo-men-tum. It's the energy or force that builds when you keep moving. In physics, momentum means an object in motion stays in motion. And it's true for human habits too. Once you start and keep going, starting becomes easier and easier.
The hardest part of a rocket launch is just leaving the ground. Scientists call it escaping gravity. And for humans, the hardest part is just that first action. After that, momentum takes over.
So your English learning needs a launch, not a perfect launch, just a launch. And here's a key insight. The launch teaches you things the planning never could.
Absolutely. You learn what words you actually need in real conversations. You learn how fast native speakers talk. You discover your specific weaknesses. None of that happens from a textbook alone.
Now, Sam, let's do a fun vocabulary exercise. I'm going to say a phrase and you explain it in your own words, okay? First one, leap of faith.
Ooh, okay. A leap of faith. Imagine you're standing on a cliff. You can't see the bottom, but something inside tells you it's okay to jump. A leap of faith means taking a brave action even without a guarantee of success. Starting this podcast was a real leap of faith for me.
Love it. Next, comfort zone.
Your comfort zone is the space, physical or mental, where everything feels safe and familiar. No risk, no stress, no challenge. It feels nice, but nothing grows there. Learning a new language means stepping outside your comfort zone. We often say step outside your comfort zone or leave your comfort zone.
Perfect. One more, resilience.
Resilience. Oh, this is a beautiful word. Resilience is your ability to bounce back, recover after something hard happens. It's not about never falling, it's about getting back up. Her resilience after losing her job was incredible. She started her own company 6 months later.
Resilience is what separates people who succeed from people who give up. And here's the thing, resilience is a skill. You build it. Every time you face something hard and keep going, you're building resilience.
And our last vocab word for this section, accountability. Accountability. This means being responsible for your own actions and results. I take accountability for my mistakes means I accept that I did something wrong and I own it.
And accountability is huge for starting things, because if you are responsible for your progress, not your teacher, not the app, not the circumstances, then you also have the power to change it. That's actually empowering when you think about it.
Speaking practice. Can you use each word in your own sentence? Try, I took a leap of faith when I stepped outside my comfort zone by, my resilience helped me when, Share these in your journal or with a friend.
Okay, theory is great, but let's get practical. Sam, what are your top strategies, like actual things people can do to just start something even when they're scared?
All right, strategy number 1, the 2-minute rule. If something takes less than 2 minutes to start, just do it now. Don't schedule it, don't plan it. The idea isn't that you'll finish in 2 minutes, it's that starting is often the hardest part. Once you've begun, you usually keep going.
I use this. When I don't want to exercise, I tell myself, just put on your shoes. That's it. 2 minutes. And once I have my shoes on, I'm already kind of committed, you know? I almost always end up doing the workout.
Exactly. For English, your 2-minute start could be open a new note on your phone and write 1 sentence in English. That's it, 1 sentence. Bet you write more once you start.
Strategy 2?
Strategy 2, make it tiny. We talked about feeling overwhelmed. The antidote? Shrink the task. Not, I'll learn English this year. Instead, I'll learn 3 new English words today. Not, I'll start a business. Instead, I'll write down my business idea today. Tiny, specific, doable today.
This is called chunking in psychology, breaking a big goal into smaller, manageable pieces. The brain loves checking things off. Each small win gives you a little shot of dopamine, that feel-good brain chemical, and motivates you to keep going.
And strategy 3, tell someone. Accountability partner. You know this word now. Find a friend, a family member, even post it online. Tell someone what you're going to do. By next week, I will have 1 English conversation. Now you have social pressure pushing you forward. It works.
This is why people do challenges publicly. When others know your goal, you're more likely to follow through. An accountability partner is someone who checks in on your progress and keeps you honest. How's the English practice going? Is a powerful question when you know it's coming.
Strategy 4, and this one is a mindset shift. Reframe failure as data. When something doesn't go perfectly, and it won't, don't call it a failure. Call it information. That didn't work. Interesting. What can I learn from this?
Reframe. To put a new frame around something, to look at it differently. Scientists don't say, my experiment failed. They say, the hypothesis was not supported. Now I have new data. That's a reframe, and it keeps you going.
For English learners, instead of I made a grammar mistake, I'm so embarrassed, try I made a grammar mistake. Now I know which one to practice next. Same event, totally different meaning, totally different effect on your motivation.
Strategy 5. Sam, this is my personal favorite. Act like the person you want to become. Don't wait until you feel like an English speaker to speak English. Speak English now, and the feeling will follow. Act as if. Fake it until you make it. Have you heard this one?
Fake it till you make it, yes. And I know some people don't love this phrase because they think it means being dishonest, but it's really about behavior. Act with confidence. Act like someone who already does the thing. The emotion catches up to the action, not the other way around.
Psychologists call it behavioral activation. Your behavior shapes your feelings, not just the other way around. When you act confident, even before feeling it, your brain actually starts to believe it. Wild, right?
Super wild and super cool. Okay, strategy 6, final one. Celebrate the attempt, not just the result. Every time you try, even if it doesn't go perfectly, celebrate. Do a little fist pump. Write, I tried in your journal. Text a friend. Your brain needs to associate trying with reward, not just succeeding.
This is huge for language learners. Every time you speak in English, however imperfect, that is a win. Acknowledge it. The more you celebrate small attempts, the more your brain wants to make more attempts.
So, to recap, 2-minute rule, make it tiny, tell someone, reframe failure as data, act like who you want to be, celebrate the attempt. 6 strategies. Any one of them could change things for you.
Okay, this is the section Sam and I get most excited about because this is where it becomes your story. We're going to give you a challenge for this week. Ready?
Here it is, the Day 4 Listener Challenge. Find one imperfect thing you will do in English this week. Not study, not plan, do. It could be record yourself speaking English for 60 seconds, write a social media post in English, have a short conversation with someone, order food in English. Whatever it is, it has to be an action in the real world.
And here's the rule. It must be imperfect. If it's perfect, you're cheating. We want you to do something where you might stumble, might pause, might say, and do it anyway. That's the challenge.
Now, let's practice some phrases you might use when starting something new in a conversation. These are supernatural English phrases. I'm going to give it a shot. I'm going to try it. I'm going to take the leap. I'm going to do something brave. Here goes nothing, said right before doing something scary, funny, and brave at the same time. What's the worst that could happen? Used to reassure yourself before taking a risk. Better done than perfect. Remind yourself that action beats waiting.
I love here goes nothing. It's almost like laughing at your own fear. You're saying, I know this might not work, but I'm doing it anyway. Very brave, very human, very English.
And listen, if you do the challenge this week, send us a message. Tell us what you did. We actually read them. Your imperfect action might inspire someone else to take theirs. That's the beautiful domino effect of courage.
Domino effect, when one action causes a chain reaction of other things. One person shares their brave moment, and suddenly 5 other people feel inspired to try. Your courage is contagious in the best possible way.
Okay, before we wrap up, let's do our classic 3 things you can walk away with today. Ready, Leah?
Always ready. Takeaway 1. Perfectionism is fear in disguise. When you catch yourself saying, I'm not ready yet, ask, am I being careful or am I just scared? Recognize the trap.
Takeaway 2. Momentum is built by starting, not by planning. The energy to keep going comes from going. You cannot think your way into action. You have to act your way into it. Starting is the strategy.
Takeaway 3. Imperfect action beats perfect inaction every single time. Your clumsy English conversation is worth more than a perfect speech you never gave. Your first messy attempt teaches you what no textbook can.
And I want to add a bonus takeaway. You are not behind. You are not late. You are exactly where you need to be right now. Your journey started the moment you decided to try, and that moment can be today, right now after this episode.
Oh, Sam, I just want to hug that takeaway. You are not behind. What a thing to hear. Because so many of our listeners feel behind their peers, behind where they should be. But progress isn't a race against others. It's a journey with yourself.
Beautifully said. Okay, today's vocabulary recap. Say each one out loud after us. Procrastinate, perfectionism, momentum, imperfect, comfort zone, overwhelmed, self-doubt, leap of faith, incremental, resilience, accountability, initiative.
Say them again tomorrow morning. Make them yours. And hey, thank you so much for spending this time with us today. You showed up. You listened. That is taking initiative. We're proud of you.
Day 5 is tomorrow, and trust me, you do not want to miss it. We're talking about habits, how tiny daily actions create extraordinary results over time. Until then, go take your imperfect action. We'll be cheering for you. Take care, everyone.
Bye. And remember, you don't need to be perfect. You just need to start. See you tomorrow.